everybody, it's Melanie. Welcome to Mixed Media Monday. We are going to once a month, especially during the holidays, and then we'll revamp and see what happens the beginning of the year. So today I'm going to be doing Mixed Media Monday for paper issues, and I'm going to be working with, since it was Halloween this weekend, I'm going to be working with some Distress Oxides and the new Villainous Potion, Wilted Violet, Spun Sugar, Black Soot in the Distress Oxide inks. I'm going to be using the Villainous Potion spray and the Villainous Potion embossing glaze. Totally forgot my words there. And then we're probably going to use a little bit of the Vickie Booten, this one purple out of the Vickie Booten, just to add a little bit of it in there. And I'm going to use several stencils. So today I'm just going to make a background, and then I will probably take the background and turn it into a layout later in the week. But for tonight, we're just going to get started with this. So I do have my Make Art station down below, and I'm going to put my magnets on my stencil. It's holding it down so much I can't move my paper. I'm going to move my paper and get my stencil. And again, I'm just going to do this kind of in the middle of the page so I can make some kind of layout. We took some pictures for Halloween, and I will add that, whatever pictures we take for Halloween, in there. So I think I'm going to do it upside down where these are kind of off to the side. I'm going to add my magnets. This little Make Art station really is great. Your stencils barely move at all. So I'm going to start with the Wilted Violet. And I just pulled some of the purples that kind of look good together. So this is the Distress Oxide and Wilted Violet. And I'm just going to lightly go over random parts of this. I liked these purples together. One's kind of brighter, one's darker. The new Villainous Potion's a good bit darker. This is the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous. I'm going to set that one to the side, and that's all I'm going to do with the Wilted Violet for right now. Then I thought I would add just a little bit of Black Soot and the Tim Holtz dot fade layering, because I don't want a whole lot of black, but I'm going to use just a little bit of black. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Just do some spots like that, just where they're kind of really random when you pick it up. And again, I don't want them to look like the shape of the stencil at all. Set that to the side, and again, that's the Tim Holtz dot fade layering. Next, I'm going to do some smooshing with the Villainous Potion. So we're going to move that aside. I'm just going to put my paper down so it doesn't move while we do some smooshing. I'm going to scoot this over, and I'm going to put my ink directly on my glass mat. So this is the new Tim Holtz color, Villainous Potion. It's beautiful. And I'm going to spray some water. Oh, and where's my plastic? Here we go. I'm just going to pick it up off of here, and I'm going to smush onto this dot fade stencil. Whoops, it slid down. So I'm just going to smush onto this because I want it to get into the circles, but not completely. You know, since it's Halloween, I want it to kind of have a messy look. So we're going to do some, and then we'll move it around. Y'all, this new color, if you haven't gotten it yet, is beautiful. It was a really good addition to the purples. All right, Okay, and just so we don't waste any of this really pretty color that's on here, I'm gonna take my paintbrush and just pick this extra up, add a squirt of water, and just make some little splatters with it, just so we don't lose it. There's no reason to waste any of this stuff. All right. So, all right, I'm just gonna roll it with the paper towel once. And clean up my mess to the left, and then we'll move on. Okay, so just gonna cover my corners up again. Now we're gonna move on to the Altenew on the plus side stencil and some texture paste. This is the Vickie Booten texture paste. It's my favorite. And again, I'm just gonna randomly get some of these plus sign. This is one of my most favorite stencils lately. I've used it a lot. So I want some of them to be whole and some of them to be just like bits and pieces. And since we're putting the embossing glaze on it, I don't care that it's not really thick. Sometimes I like it thick for dimension, but for this it doesn't have to be that thick. All right, I'm going to gently pick it up and we're going to move it to another section. Now normally you would dry this a little bit first or let it dry on its own, but because I'm putting the embossing glaze on it, I'm gonna go ahead and put the embossing glaze on it and let it dry with the heat gun. But normally you could let it dry on its own. Texture paste will kind of crack a little bit, but with me putting this on there, I don't care. It's gonna be all right. So I'm opening, this is the Villainous Potion Distress Glaze. It's the first time I've opened it. Ooh, it's a deep, pretty color. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it all over, and what's left I will pour back into my jar. You just wanna make sure you get a really good coverage. Kinda got carried away there, and we're gonna shake it around too. That is a glob. That shouldn't have been there. We'll take that off. All right. I'm going to shake this around. And you can see it grabbing everywhere. Oop, I shook a little bit off. I'm not the neatest at this if you've ever watched me do this. Here we go. Okay, it looks like everybody has what it needs. And we're going to take this and just go right back into our container. You do want to use a heat embossing gun for this because you want it to heat faster on a higher heat than the regular heat gun. Okay, I think it's all done. So if you can see, there's texture, there's glimmer. It's a glaze, so it's very shiny, but there's texture behind it too because of the texture paste that we heated up. So I did have out the sponge sugar And I wanted to add a little bit of that just for some softness. So let's see about adding that in. Just on top of, okay, I'm going to use just a little bit of the dot stencil just to add a little of the pink in. I like pink with purple, and it won't, and that kind of's got a little Halloween. And this pink is so light. Yeah, I like that addition in there. There, gonna do a little in here. This is a nice stencil, and it's very versatile if you don't have this one. All right, I think that's enough. Just wanted a touch of that. And then the last thing we're gonna add is some of the Villainous Potion Distress Oxide Spray. All right, you just wanna shake it up really well. I'm excited to use this. I haven't used it yet. You can kind of see there's a milky at the bottom. You just want to shake that up. Let that ball roll around till that milky's gone. All right. Now I'm going to just use this as splatters. Okay. And I'll probably use the paintbrush a little bit for some bigger ones. All right, pull that to the side and let's get my paintbrush. So I'm going to use my larger paintbrush and get some bigger splatters of this. All about how you do your wrist and tap it. Now the last thing I have that we didn't use, I want to play with real quick because I've not ever used it yet. I'm gonna hit this with this while we're talking. Is the Vickie Booten watercolors that are in the store, and there is a purple in there I want to play with real quick. So let's just hit these and then we'll roll them over with a paper towel, but they dry so much darker if you let them dry alone without speeding them up, or with a paper towel I should say. Okay. I'll roll over it one time just to make sure that there's no wetness left on it. And those splatters are pretty. So here are the new Vickie Booten watercolors in all of her really bright colors. And I just want to use this purple. Ooh, they're kind of chalky feeling. So let's see. I'm going to squirt some water right there on it. And I'm just going to use the paintbrush. Very chalky feeling. And just do some bigger splatters with it. Let's do this. Let's put this stencil back down and just color a few of these in. How about that? I'm just going to kind of hold it and go in that circle. Just some random circles. Just kind of using it for a guide. That's a beautiful color. Kind of like that. So again, this is the Vickie Booten watercolors. I love, I'm telling y'all, they're kind of almost like a texture paste look on there. Let's do one more in the middle, and then I've pretty much used up all my water on it. Let's do one more right here. So I'm just using the circle for a guide. There you go. And I'm not going to use any of those other colors in there. It did come with a brush, but I just used the brush that we had. And I think we're done. So we used several stencils. I used 2 Tim Holtz, the Dot Fade Layering and the Where'd it go? I think this one is the Grunge. So I use the Dot Fade Layering and the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous. I use the Bubble Wrap stencil and the Altenew on the plus side stencil. We used Wilted Violet, Spun Sugar, Villainous Potion, and Black Soot Distress Oxides. We used the Vickie Booten, new paints that are in the store. And we use the Distress Oxide Spray in Villainous Potion, the Villainous Potion Distress Glaze, and the Vickie Booten Texture Paste, along with our sprayer bottle blending brushes. All of these things are in the store. You can go to paperissues.com and use code MMMonday for 20% off. Anytime that you spend $75 or more after your discount, you get free shipping. Lots of new things in the store, lots of things coming. These purples are really pretty. Like I said, I will make a layout this week and finish this off, and I will post it in the Facebook group under Mixed Media Monday, and there will be a layout that goes along with this. And I won't be able to add it to the video, I don't think, but I will put it in there. And I thank y'all for watching. We'll be back in December, the first Monday in December for the next video. Again, go to paperissues.com. Shop away, and you can use code MMMonday to save 20% on all your purchases. Thanks so much for watching, and y'all have a beautiful month. Bye-bye.